2024 was a very eye-opening year. The year started with Cat Williams calling out a few of his peers. Then the floodgates opened and name after name started getting exposed. People that no one thought would get exposed were exposed, showing people what's really going on in Hollywood. To start the new year, I think it's important we remember all of the people who were exposed in 2024. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about everyone who was exposed in 2024. But before we begin, I just wanted to politely ask you guys to like, comment, and subscribe so we can get this video seen by everyone who needs to see it. Thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. It is no doubt that last year was the year of exposure. While Hollywood has been allowed to operate in immorality for decades, last year they were finally called out for it. All of Hollywood was put under a microscope and was extensively examined. What the world found out was that these celebrities aren't who they appear to be. Most of them are operating with their own set of rules, with no concern of who they take advantage of. The can of worms were opened, and no one liked what they saw, especially from the biggest and most powerful men in Hollywood. Men that everyone assumed were stand-up guys from the outside looking in turned out to be wicked monsters. Today, we will be remembering everyone who was exposed last year, as it's important we don't forget what these people were really up to. It would only be right to start with the main figure of 2024. Diddy. While Diddy started getting exposed in 2023 by Cassie, it wasn't until 2024 that he was put in the hot seat. Cassie had accused Diddy of not only being physically abusive, but forcing her to be in his freak-off parties, a phrase that became infamous in 2024, with news anchors using it routinely. We learned the freak-offs were a code name for Diddy's wild drug-fueled sex parties that were populated by women and men of the night and big-name celebrities. It was also revealed that Diddy was recording these wild parties. In 2024, not only did Diddy get raided by the police, but he was also arrested not long after footage of him assaulting Cassie in a hotel was leaked to the world. This was the moment Diddy's public image started to change, and people no longer saw him as a hip-hop mogul, but a predator. Lawsuit after lawsuit dropped against Diddy, and eventually, the lawyer Tony Busby claimed that he was suing him in behalf of 120 of his victims, with several of them being children when they were victimized. Things got so bad that a new saying was created. Instead of people saying pause for things that were sus, they started saying no Diddy. Diddy spent most of 2024 begging to get bail, something that was continuously denied. While we're on the subject of Diddy's freak-offs, let's talk about the next man who was exposed in 2024 for his own version of the freak-offs. Vince McMahon is known by the world as the owner of the WWE. Vince built the WWE with his own two hands and made it one of the biggest sports entertainment companies in the world, worth billions. He became a staple in pop culture for his over-the-top, no-nonsense attitude that made him a fan favorite. If you grew up watching wrestling, then Vince McMahon most likely meant a good deal to you, as without him, there wouldn't have been this massive company that we all enjoyed. However, it eventually turned out that the character Vince McMahon was playing for the camera wasn't really all for show, and Vince was a pretty sick and wicked person. In 2024, while the WWE was reaching new heights, the man behind it all was exposed for being just like Diddy. See, Vince McMahon was exposed by several women who claim he took advantage of them and forced them to have a relationship with him for working opportunities at the WWE. The most infamous case of all the women that sued him was of Janelle Grant, a former employee of the WWE. Janelle exposed Vince for having his own version of the Diddy freak-off parties at the WWE. Janelle started working for Vince McMahon in 2019 after her building manager introduced her to Vince, who lived in the same building as her. Janelle alleged that instantly after meeting Vince, the advances started, with Vince eventually offering her a six-figure job at the WWE in exchange for a sexual relationship with the woman. Not long after Janelle started working at the WWE, Vince McMahon, or should I call him Diddy Jr., started inviting her to the WWE freak-offs, as Janelle alleged that Vince would hold strange hookup sessions where she not only had to hook up with other men of power at the WWE, but even some of the wrestlers themselves. It was revealed that Brock Lesnar was one of the alleged men Vince pimped her out to. This wasn't even the worst of it, as Janelle claimed that during one of these WWE freak-offs, while she was engaging in activities with two men, Vince watched it all like Diddy before climbing on her chest and using her as a porta potty. He took a number 2 on her chest during the middle of the situation. This severely disturbed the woman, who no longer wanted to participate in her agreement with Vince. She eventually told this to Vince, who was trying to invite her to another WWE freak-off. Vince decided to promise her $2 million in order for her to leave the company without exposing him. She took the deal, but after she was only given half of the money, she came out and exposed Vince anyways. This led to Vince McMahon eventually leaving the WWE. This situation is awfully similar to the former CEO of the clothing brand Abercrombie Fitch, Mike Jeffries. Back in 2024, Mike Jeffries was exposed for hosting the Abercrombie freak-offs. He was arrested by the feds as they were alleging Mike routinely hosted freak-off parties where he hired male Abercrombie models and forced them to engage in activities with him and others. Mike Jeffrey promised modeling opportunities, money, and more to the models that agreed to be a part of his freak-off parties. The men that weren't interested in hooking up with an old white man were injected with performance enhancers directly in their private area to force them to participate. While Mike Jeffries was arrested by the feds, he was eventually released on bail, unlike Diddy, which to many made no sense. But it was reported that it was because Diddy was threatening witnesses. Another celebrity who was sued for allegedly having freak-offs was the female rapper and Tory accuser Megan Thee Stallion, as Megan Thee Stallion was sued by her former cameraman. Megan Thee Stallion is currently being sued by her former cameraman, Emilio Garcia. Emilio is claiming that Meg forced him to watch her hook up with other women. He alleged that after a night out in 2022 in Ibiza, Spain, he was in an SUV with the hip-hop star when she began getting intimate with another woman while sitting right next to him. He claims that he was instantly caught off guard and disturbed, which became worse as he was unable to get out of the moving car. Even if he had gotten out of the car, he claims he would have been in the middle of nowhere in a foreign country, which left him with no choice but to sit there while it all went down. Garcia claimed in the lawsuit that he was embarrassed, mortified, and offended throughout the whole ordeal. According to Garcia, the next day Megan told him never to discuss what he saw or else. She would then go on to fire him a few days later. Garcia is now suing Megan for wrongful termination in SA. Another powerful man who was exposed last year was no other than Jay-Z. At the end of last year, the lawyer Tony Busby refiled a past lawsuit made against Diddy to add Jay-Z as one of the accomplices. According to the Jane Doe Tony is representing, Jay-Z allegedly R-worded her back in a 2000s VMAs after party, claiming that Jay-Z and Diddy took turns R-wording her when she was only 13, while a female celebrity watched it all go down. Jay-Z has since denied the allegations, but did it in such an aggressive way that most people think he still might be guilty. Jay-Z went after the lawyer suing him, not only attacking him in the public eye, but using hidden techniques to bring down Tony Busby, including hiring private investigators who allegedly went around asking Tony's former clients and employees if they were willing to expose him. Eventually, a woman, former girlfriend of Busby, ended up suing him for giving her an STD, a lawsuit that Busby claimed was orchestrated by Jay-Z and his lawyers. Another big name in the music industry that was exposed in 2024 was no other than the biggest rapper in the industry, Drake. While Drake had dominated the hip-hop world for years, it appeared that it all came to an end in 2024, as early in the year several rappers came out dissing Drake before Kendrick started a full-on beef with him. Kendrick went toe-to-toe with Drake, dropping diss track after diss track until he dropped his atomic bomb on him, the song Not Like Us. When Not Like Us came out, it was pretty much a wrap for Drake, as Kendrick rapped the bar Certified Lover Boy Certified PDF file. This was it for Drake, as not long after, the whole world was singing along to the lyrics, calling Drake a certified PDF file. Even though these rumors about Drake had been floating around the internet for years, it wasn't until Kendrick dropped this song that old videos of Drake's questionable behavior started popping up everywhere, with this video of Drake bringing up a 17-year-old girl on stage resurfacing. In the video, Drake could be seen asking the young girl how old she was, with the girl confirming she was only 17. Even after Drake confirmed she was too young, he still decided to feel all over her and eventually kissed her in front of the crowd of fans. After Kendrick dropped that record, this footage was being looked at in a whole new light, with people asking questions about all of Drake's questionable relationships with underage girls. This basically confirmed to many that Drake was indeed a certified PDF file, like the song claimed. Drake still hasn't been able to recover from the damage Kendrick did to him, so much so that he sued his own record label for what he called an orchestrated attempt to devalue him before his record contract negotiations came up. This way, they would force him to sign a lower value deal. While we're talking about the beef, let's talk about another man who was part of the beef that got exposed for liking them young. Last year, after the beef was starting to die out, Metro Boomin ended up dealing with his own strange allegations, as many of his old tweets started resurfacing that made him look like a certified PDF file. These tweets from back in 2011, when Metro was 19 or 20 years old, showed them making some wild remarks. Some of the tweets read, "I'm trying to tell one of my followers that age ain't nothing but a number, laugh out loud." Another tweet read, "She might be young, but she's ready." And another tweet read, "Got your sister on the mollies, she done ran through the whole squad." There were more tweets just like this that made people online start questioning Metro. Quickly after the tweets went viral, the hashtag Metro Grooming started to trend, and people were not holding back on him at all. Metro eventually responded, telling people he can't be a P-word if he was only 15 when he made those tweets. The problem with Metro's claims is that he was actually 18 or 19 when he made those tweets. Tweets that, if we properly analyze, clearly indicate that Metro thinks sedating young girls and taking advantage of them is normal behavior. It seemed kind of ironic that Metro was on Kendrick's side of the beef, calling Drake a certified PDF file, while having tweets like this on the internet. Another big hip-hop celebrity who was exposed last year was Kanye West. Kanye, just like Diddy, was being sued for SA by his own personal assistant. Kanye had hired Lauren Piscata to be his personal assistant, offering her a $1 million yearly salary. According to Lauren, Kanye was romantically interested in her the entire time she worked for him, claiming that he would routinely make advances that she refused. She claimed that one time during a private jet flight, Kanye tricked her into watching him play with his little Kanye until he finished. In the lawsuit, she also accused Kanye of sedating her and essaying her. Lauren claims that during a studio session that Kanye and Diddy were at, Kanye and Diddy forced her to drink a drink that was laced. She eventually became sedated and blacked out, while Diddy and Kanye allegedly R-worded her. These allegations were backed up by another woman, a former artist who was at the studio session and barely escaped the situation without being assaulted herself.
And people were asking, what's going on with you? Why did you leave the industry? Why did you fall off? Is the music industry as evil as people say it is? And I was like, it's more evil than you could possibly imagine. Like I said in my one post, I've only been assaulted twice. This was one of the 2 times that kind of changed the trajectory of my life and my career. I got a call one day and it's like, hey, Kanye wants you to come to the studio. And we were just like, what? Kanye knows who I am? What? This is crazy. So we go. And this happens multiple times. You can find it if you go back and find headlines, you'll find proof of it. We were working with Kanye. We got a call. It was late. We were living in LA. And we get a call and it's like, hey, Ye wants you to come to the studio. And we're like, cool. Why? And he's like, he wants to work on music. And we're like, that's great. And so we go. And it's somewhere in LA, some studio we've never been to before. And we show up and walk in. And it's, we're there to work on music, right? That's why I'm here. And we walk in and it's Kanye and it's Diddy. And, a couple of people that we know, men, an executive that worked with Kanye, Kanye's engineer, and Kanye's cousin. And we walk in and we're like, okay, cool. And it's immediately I was like, there's something not right. There's something not right about this. Because we walk in and there's 9 other women and Kanye and Diddy are already out of their mind, just completely drunk, but probably something else. And we're like, okay, but we were invited as artists. Maybe these girls are going to leave and we're going to work on music. Let's just walk in and just, yeah. Immediately, I felt like there was something weird. There's always drinks, there's always, the vodka and the mixer is just sitting on the table, but we walk in and immediately, and Diddy hands me a drink, Kanye hands Lauren a drink, and we're like, that's weird, why are they serving us? And immediately I was like, there's something wrong. I couldn't explain it, I didn't know what to do, but I just felt that there was something not right. And it was weird because I noticed as I was standing there just wondering what's going on, Diddy kept looking at me, and Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and they were exchanging glances, and I'm they're watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink, and I'm not actually doing it. And that seemed to make them happy, me pretending to join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I, like, my manager was like across the room, but like close enough, but like not next to me, so I couldn't like whisper to her. But I went to tell her, I'm like, hey, don't drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hand and he's like, who are you texting? Like, you don't need to text anyone. Like, we're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he like puts it on one of the speakers. Now what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And I see my manager take a sip, and I'm like, now what do I do? And then I see her take another sip, 2 sips out of this little vodka cranberry cup. And I'm like, oh, what do I do? 2 sips, and I watch her face flush. And all of a sudden, like, I look over and she's speaking really loud and like making jokes, and I'm like, whoa, like, this isn't her. Like, she doesn't make jokes. She's terrified of people. Like, she doesn't even talk. And I was like, it's already hitting her. Like, 100%, I just knew that the drinks were all laced with something. And all of a sudden, she like dismisses the studio host. She's like, you can leave. And I'm like, oh my god, like, what's going on? And the girls file out. They go to like a different studio, or they go somewhere. And I'm like, I have to do something. I have to do something. What do I do? And I go to get my phone where Kanye put it on one of the speakers, and as I'm going to get it, I turn and my manager's walking out, and I'm like, no, like, where are you going? And she's like, it's fine, I'm just going to the bathroom. And I was like, no, stay. And she's like, it's right there, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay. And she walks out, and all of a sudden I realize that I'm in the studio. The music's low, the lights are dim, but you can still like see everything. And I realize that I'm in the studio with Diddy and Kanye, and they're both off it. And there's 3 other men, an executive that works with Kanye, his engineer, and his cousin, and alone. And I realized all of a sudden that Kanye and Diddy have realized that I'm the only girl in the room. and they start coming towards me, and they're like, don't you want to take your clothes off? Like, it's so hot in here. And I'm like, no, fine. I'm fine like this. And they're like, it's just us. Like, we're all just friends. Like, let us just like see like how you look. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And like, I still haven't gotten scared yet, you know? Like, I'm still like, this is a bad situation. I'm creeped out, but like, there's no reason to panic. There's other men here. So they're coming towards me, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where my manager is. I don't know where anyone is. And they're coming towards me more, and they're trying to like take my clothes off. And I'm like at that point where I'm like, this is not good, but I'm like still trying to like play it off. Just like, stop, you guys are stupid. Like, get out of here. Like, don't touch me. But scared. Okay, now it's back. Okay, so let me just get to the point. So they start trying, like, they're like pawing at me. Like, they're both drunk, probably on something else. And I start to get a little bit apprehensive because I'm pretty much like backed up against the wall. Like, there's only one exit, and I'm pressed up against this door. And I'm still not completely terrified yet, but I'm like, you guys stop. Like, stop. And they're getting to the point where they have like ripped my shirt off. And like, I'm like almost fully exposed at this point. And they're both coming at me. And I'm like, you guys, like, seriously, this isn't funny anymore. And I look to my left where his executive is. Like, we know him pretty well. Like, we've been around him a lot. He's literally 3 feet away from me. Like, if I reached and he reached too, like, we could touch. Like, he's that close. And I look and I'm like, hey, like, I give that look where I'm just like, come on, like, step in. Like, this isn't cool. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you're like 50 years old. I know you have a family. Like, you know this isn't right. Like, do something. And this is the part that for as long as I live, I will never forget. It isn't actually the aspect of being assaulted. That's not what haunts me. It's this. It's as these 2 grown men were pawing at me, trying to take my clothes off, I look over to this man asking for help, and I literally mouth the word help. And we lock eyes. And he looks away. I'm like, okay, there's still 2 more men in the room. And I look to his engineer next, who's sitting right next to him. And I know that he's married, and he just had a little baby girl, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna do something. And I look at him next, and I'm like, okay, like, do something, say something, do anything. And he looks down at his phone and starts texting. And then I was like, oh, fuck. I look at Kanye's cousin next, and I'm like, do something. And he spins his chair around. And that's when that, like, gut-wrenching fear set in. No one is saving me tonight. No one's gonna do anything. And that's when I was truly scared. At this point, they had ripped my shirt off, and they were trying to get my pants off. And I realized that I was completely alone. And I closed my eyes for a second, and I was like, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is gonna sound weird because I bet a lot of you are wondering like how to get out of this situation. My eyes were closed, and I prayed, and I said, God help me, what do I do? And it was like clear as day. I heard this in my head, and it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, great, the one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why would I go towards these 2 who are assaulting me that. And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off there. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward. And it like threw them off balance. Like, they were like, oh, you know, and like they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back, I pulled the door and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for like 25 minutes, just like crying, texting my manager, and she's not answering.
Obviously, Kanye denied the allegations, but Lauren provided text message proof between the two that seemed to prove Kanye's inappropriate advances towards her. Another hip-hop figure who was exposed for similar behavior was no other than DJ Akademiks. Back in 2024, DJ Akademiks was exposed by a former girlfriend who claimed she was allegedly drugged and SA'd by Akademiks and his two friends. She claims that she was invited to hang out by Akademiks at his house in Jersey. When she arrived, Akademiks wasn't in sight. Instead, she was greeted by his two friends, who allegedly started serving her drinks. She alleged that once she got drunk, Ak's two friends began to R-word her on Akademiks' pool deck. According to Akademiks, the whole incident was caught on his surveillance camera that he provided to the authorities. While Akademiks denied he had anything to do with it, the woman accused Akademiks of also R-wording her while she was unconscious, claiming she woke up with Akademiks on top of her.
I look crazy right now, but I'm not going to stand here and let this man continue to lie about me. That's not what happened, Akademiks. You know that that's not what happened. And for you to pretend that you didn't do anything, that I just went to your house and I'm just some thought, like we didn't know each other for 2 years. You tried to save yourself after your friends assaulted me. Whether or not you got drunk or not, I know that when you woke up, you were on top of me too. And you know what? I'm gonna come back with my own story. This what you wanted, you're about to get it. I've been quiet for way too long.
This lawsuit is still ongoing, with Akademiks denying any wrongdoing. While we are talking about online personalities being exposed, let's talk about some of the other influencers that were exposed. In 2024, the internet saw the rise of the live streamer Sketch, who blew up in popularity out of nowhere and ended up all over the NFL and other big streamers' platforms. This made Sketch one of the breakout influencers of 2024, but his reputation would take a massive hit not long after his rise to fame. Sketch went viral in 2024 on TikTok for his catchphrase, "What's up, brother?" and his signature hand sign where he points his index finger up. This led to a TikTok trend of women asking their boyfriends, "What's up, brother?" with their boyfriend responding with Sketch's signature hand move. While everything was going great for Sketch, things changed overnight after a small YouTube creator made a video exposing his hidden past. The video was called The Real Sketch, The Untold Story of Jamie Marr, and it revealed Sketch's unknown past. In the video, the creator pocketbook had some photos that would change what people thought of Sketch forever. The video basically revealed that before all of the streaming success, Sketch was actually a gay OF content creator who went by the name of Jamie Marr. He claimed that Sketch made OF adult content with many men. He posted this adult content on his OF account and on Twitter. In these photos, he would be dressed in explicit women clothing and engage in activities with other men while recording it and then selling it on his OF. This YouTuber posted several images of the guy that appeared to clearly be Sketch. Not long after this video was released, it started to circulate online, being reposted everywhere. Many people were shocked to see who they thought was an innocent streamer end up being a full-on gay adult OF creator. People wanted answers as they couldn't believe it was really Sketch. Well, those who didn't want to believe it were forced to after Sketch himself came out and admitted to it all being true. Sketch went on live and addressed the rumors and confirmed that he indeed made that OF content and had relations with men.
Wasn't planning on doing this today, but I guess so. Okay, I'll start from the top. Look at this, open and honest. That was me. That was me. It's okay, though. I will tell you what. Okay. 2 years ago, I did some stuff. I'm sorry if you've seen some of the stuff. You know, I'm a changed person. This is going worse than I thought it was. So 2 years ago, I did not have with that man. I'm just kidding. I did, possibly. Cat's out of the bag. It's okay. What else do I have to say? I don't know. Thank you to all my people that have been sticking up for me. I understand if you're mad. Shan, don't go on Twitter. I deleted. I'm just kidding. I didn't delete Twitter. I have been cautiously avoiding it. Okay, I was dealing with some addiction problems. A couple of them. But no excuse there. What, I guess. Just trying to give you some background here. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, that was me. Fucked up. I won't do it again. I'm just kidding. Well, I am dead serious about not doing it again. That was a dark time. Rough time.
He confirmed all the rumors and blamed it on his quote-unquote former substance problems and the place he was in his life back then. He went on to claim that he is a changed man now and that he wouldn't do that again. Sketch was never seen the same after this, but still managed to remain somewhat popular on the internet. Another big influencer that was exposed was the golden child of YouTube, the biggest, most profitable man on the internet, MrBeast. Jimmy, or MrBeast as most people call him, was exposed by his former employee Dogpack404. Not long after, it was revealed his best friend Chris Tyson, who now goes by Ava, was a certified PDF file who was grooming teens on his Discord server. I honestly can't put everything MrBeast was exposed for in this video, as it would take up the rest of the video. But to quickly summarize it, he was accused by his former employee of running illegal child lotteries, hiring S-offenders to work in his company around children, supporting the artist Shagman, who drew inappropriate pictures of children, and also mistreating his employees and many more. MrBeast has since responded to the allegations, denying them all, but most people saw it as Jimmy trying to cover it all up. The next person we're going to be talking about is the boxer Ryan Garcia. Last year, Ryan Garcia was one of the most talked about people on the internet. During the year, he decided to go on a massive trolling campaign to promote his upcoming boxing match. He went online and claimed that he was kidnapped and taken to the Bohemian Grove, where he watched things be done to children.
Yo, Andrew.
Hey, bro. All right, talk to us.
Bro, I don't give a. They held me down and they made me watch little kids get.
Where?
Bro, they took me to the fucking woods, bro, and they tied. I'm not fucking joking, bro. I have fucking proof, bro. I don't give a fuck. Bro, I fucking will show you every video you could ever fucking believe. Bohemian Grove is real. They fucking tied me down and they made me fucking watch, dog. I absolutely don't give a fuck anymore. Yes, I lost it. They're little kids.
He doesn't want to take us all, so let's go. Come on, Ryan. He doesn't want to.
This dude, dude.
Who?
Bro,
you
know the higher elites, bro. You already know who they are, bro.
You know the path
Andrew,
you're going down is dangerous, my friend.
I don't give a. I don't give a. They can't touch me. I'm a god.
Well, that's the first point of contention, because I care about you a lot, and I can assure you from my own personal experience that they can touch you, which is the
Bro,
worst
no,
part
they
about it.
can't, bro. All right, so come touch me.
You have proof of these things. You have proof of this on your phone?
Yes, of course I do. What are you talking about? Of course. If Alex could get a video from the Bohemian Grove, of course I could.
Well, I have to be careful what I say because I'm in the middle of a judicial process right now.
You want me to get you out of it? I can help
Well,
you.
bro, my door gets kicked in if I say what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, I can help you get out of it if you want. I know people.
Oh. Tell everyone at home then. Start from the beginning. When did this happen? Where did this happen? What exactly did you see? Why have you tweeted the things you've tweeted? Let people at home understand you a little
Because
bit.
I don't give a bro. They me, right? I was 2 years old. They me. I have proof of that too. That's where it all started, bro. Okay?
You do know there's going to be certain people who believe, and I'm Ryan. You know I like you. We've been speaking for years. You know there's going to be people who believe you're just saying this because you've, I don't know, had a mental breakdown or taken drugs and you're repeating some of the things you've said on the internet, and so they're going to not believe you unless you come at it very coherently.
Andrew, I'll go to Romania and take a test in front of your face.
Bro, you don't want to come here. You don't need Romanian jail. It's bad for your fight camp. But I'm just asking, like, you're gonna have to tell a far more coherent story from start to finish for people to truly understand that what you're saying happened is what you saw, and that this is not some sort of episode or anything else. This is my advice to you as a brother. I'm trying to make it, if you want people to believe you, you're going to have to come along and explain from the absolute beginning exactly how it happened, who was involved, how you got there, what car you were in, where you were standing, everything.
Of course they're going to want that, and I have all the information possible.
Okay, so when are you releasing it? How are you releasing it? Or are you keeping it for yourself? Because it looks like you don't want to keep it for yourself.
I don't. At the right time, I'm going to release all of it. But at the right time, I'm going to do it. They're already calling me to tell me to stop. I don't give a dude. I've already had a meeting with them. I'm going to let you sit with that, Andrew.
All right, bro. Well, I want you to know that either way, I'm praying for you, and I hope that...
Thank you, bro.
You know, no, and I mean
I don't give a bro. And Alex Jones has been saying the same shit, and they try to can't. The only reason they can't stop me because they listen to the devil. I listen to God. God gave me authority. It's over for everybody, bro.
But Alex, they've attempted to paint him as some psycho conspiracy theorist, even though he's not. So
bro,
when
it's over for
when he says things, they're not as afraid of him releasing the truth because they feel like they've done a good job of brainwashing the average
Hey, bro, out of
person
respect for you, bro. Out of respect for you, I love you. I'm gonna hop off this. Share it to the world, please.
All right, Ryan. Ryan, I'll talk to you privately as well, okay?
Bye-bye.
When questioned about this by fans and others, he dedicated the next few months at trying to convince people this really happened and claimed that he was dedicating his fight to help child victims. While all of this was happening, people were watching Ryan go on a downward spiral where it became evident he had a serious substance issue. Eventually, all this trolling ended in a very bad situation when he was caught being racist during a chat. During this online chat, he repeatedly made racist remarks. He was eventually kicked out of the Boxing Federation and suspended from other divisions. This is similar in a way to what happened to Ice Spice after a former friend of hers claimed Ice Spice was being racist towards her after saying several racist remarks. She also claimed that Ice Spice had sold her soul and became dark and evil.
Okay, I get with Spice. And me and her cool as hell, so we just be regularly talking about shit. I see she type got an attitude, so I asked her, like, what's up? Like, you good? Like, you know, filling her out. She like, oh, yeah, I'm cool, woo, woo. It's just Cleo black ass doing too much. I'm like, damn, hold up.
Saying because people fail to realize that she skipped a very important part in her career, which was the grind. She barely had to do that. And that's okay. Some people are lucky. And we're going to call it luck. We're not going to call it her being blessed because I don't think the Lord will bless somebody like her. Her soul it doesn't belong to the person above. She is very dark and very soulless. And I've never been around this girl for more than 10 hours. Anytime I hung out with her, it was something very small, a small gathering, a small event. It was video shoots, you know what I'm saying? It never was chilling in the crib, face not done, chilling. You get what I'm saying? Like on some real friend shit. That's why I kind of got annoyed when a lot of people thought he was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, but it was like, we were still cool. Like that was still my girl, bro. So it was just, her energy, I got to witness this very firsthand. I was around her every day, 24/7. I mean, not all the time, because she would go straight to the back into that room. And when I would see her, like at the venue and whatever, because after the Philly situation, I barely saw her. She was dark. She just, oh my God, like, it's even scary to talk about. Like, bro, that girl, she needs to be saved. Like, I don't know if she was always like that, if it's Hollywood.
Now let's talk about everyone who was exposed for being associated with Diddy. The biggest name that was associated with Diddy's freak-off parties was no other than the king of basketball, LeBron James, who admitted out of his own mouth that there's no party like a Diddy party. LeBron was called out for his very public relationship with Diddy and attending his parties. I actually covered LeBron recently as a former WNBA basketball player had exposed him.
LeBron James is a trafficker, nigga. That nigga is a trafficker. He is a fucking trafficker. He trafficked women in real time. I ain't confused. I ain't that shit. Nigga tried to kill me for real. I just got out of that shit. I've been missing for almost like 2 years. I didn't even know where I was at.
Another celebrity that was exposed for being around Diddy was no other than his ex-girlfriend, J-Lo, who was connected back to the Shine and Diddy club shooting incident. As it was believed, J-Lo helped Diddy cover up the crime when she allegedly got rid of the weapon Diddy used in the club that injured clubgoers.
Third gun?
Yeah.
And
yeah, what was the story behind the third gun that was recovered?
that was recovered. We recovered that a couple days later. What happened was there was a gentleman out there. He was driving. He was an escort service. He was parked on 8th Avenue. And while he was sitting in his car, while he's sitting there, a gun comes flying out of the rear passenger side of the Navigator and literally lands on the hood of his car. And he confiscates it, and he really doesn't know what to do with it. And he eventually tells his boss, who he works for, hey, he sees what's going on. I believe he saw everything like the next day or that night on TV.
Yeah, he sees the news, puts two and two together.
So he gets in touch with his boss.
Does his civic duty.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Right.
It's a day later.
In a roundabout way.
And what was his statement to the police? I'm sitting in the car, and
he was waiting. He was an escort driver. He was waiting for his escorts to come back
An escort
out.
for the escorts,
minding his own business, and he says the Lincoln Navigator is driving by. According to him, he sees a light-skinned, slender arm throw this loaded weapon out the window, and that lands on his car.
Okay.
From the rear passengers.
Oprah was also called out as she partied with Diddy and seemed to have a good relationship with him. I actually think I should make a full video on Oprah. If that's something you guys want to see, comment Oprah below. The legendary actor Denzel Washington was also exposed for his alleged involvement in the Diddy parties. While at first, Denzel was seen as a hero who told Diddy off before storming out of one of his parties. A woman claiming to be one of Diddy's victims named Allie Carter claimed Denzel not only was at the party, but participated in the foul behavior.
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. All right? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual. Jeez. Get it straight. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party. I was one of the party favors. The adults who are swearing up and down, I left at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You shouldn't have been there. And on top of that, if you knew that there were children coming in after a certain hour, why the hell didn't you say anything until right now?
Coward.
All these people, I knew he was crazy, so you guilty. I told you everybody guilty. You're guilty. I don't care who it is that's saying, I left at 1 o'clock in the morning. Because why? Because why? You covered your ass.
Denzel, you a damn liar. Lecrae, you a damn liar.
Whether you believe this or not is up to you. As of now, Allie Carter's credibility has been put up to question. While I haven't looked into it and I don't know if she's legit or not, I will say she was talking out about Diddy for years. Well, you made it to the end. One thing I will say before I end this video is that a lot of these celebrities seem to have similar allegations made against them. It shows us a pattern of behavior coming from Hollywood that for the longest was hidden. It's important that we don't forget any of these people that were exposed and we hold them accountable this year. Well, I'm gonna end this one here, but before you guys go, I would like to kindly ask you guys to subscribe if you're not. Please like, comment, and share this video so others who need to see this get a chance. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.